welcome to your 2044 Perfect League World Series coverage. I'm your host, DRC, and I am coming to you from a brand new location here tonight. Coming to you from my personal channel. It's been a long time since a Perfect League World Series has graced the DRC Nomads channel. It's been, close to a year now? I want to say it was around now last year that I got picked up by the mothership and started broadcasting there. But either way, I am loving coming to you guys here tonight, and I'm really excited to share what's in store for the new location, for the new show, really. As you've noticed with the other shows from the other stream team members, things change a little bit as you go to the personal channel. You have a little bit more freedom to do the music you want, as you heard my hype music coming off the top rope there before we got started here tonight. And you can be a little bit more free with what you do on the stream itself. Super appreciative of the subs already coming in here. We got Dishnet, we got Teddy Yo. Thank you guys so much. 12 months, 8-month streak, incredible. API supporting. You guys are the very best, and this would not happen without you guys. And so super great to have you guys here tonight and to see what we can do. This is not a drops world on this channel, but I think we can have a ton of fun without that. I don't know that we ever needed it to begin with, but let's get to it. So what are we going to do tonight? We're going to crown a Perfect League champion. We are going to crown a Perfect League champion tonight. It's either going to be the Detroit Fury or it's going to be Schrodinger's Bats. A really cool team name. A team name that I hadn't really paid much attention to until it knocked my butt out of the playoffs in the second round of the playoffs. Mike ABC wondering if we'll get more swears. We'll see. More freedom too, for sure. We've got Blubla12 subscribing with Amazon Prime. Anyone who doesn't know it, you can get a free subscription with Amazon Prime. All you got to do is click the subscribe button, go down to the bottom, and click Use Amazon Prime. And boom, free sub, free support of the DRC channel, which I very much appreciate. As you can see on the bottom left corner of your screen, I do have a subscription goal. So it is my fervent goal. I want so very badly to be able to bring this stream to you every Sunday night. And I am working on my end to figure out how that's going to work. I'm actually in active discussions right now with a couple of different companies who could be potential sponsors. Which is very exciting and which would certainly help a ton. But if you guys want to help out as well, then you can. There's multiple ways you can do so. You can subscribe yourself. You can gift subscriptions to others. You can donate. And if you don't want to do any of those, that's fine too. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you interacting with the community and being part of the World Series broadcast. But I've done some math on it, and I think if we hit our sub goal there, over the course of the next 6 weeks or so, I think we'll be in good shape to keep this train a-rockin' no matter what. And Chuck, oh man, look at you, Chuck. Chuck, you're too much. You are too much. Dropping an absolute gift bomb here. A ton of people in the chat getting free subscriptions to the channel. Now all part of the clubhouse. And thank you so much, Chuck. Dishnet doing the same darn thing. 5 subs coming from Dishnet. Thanks so much, guys. This is a little overwhelming. You guys are awesome, and I want to keep having fun broadcasting these Perfect League World Series, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's get into the matchup. We've got 9 minutes before we have a Game 1 sim, and let's learn what makes these two teams tick. We'll start with the Detroit Fury. Now, the Detroit Fury is not a team that's going to be foreign for many of you. They were a top team in PT21. They're a top team here in PT22. In fact, as you look at the bottom right corner of your screen, you see that they are the number 2 team in Perfect League wins all time. They are behind only the Chad Golden Rumps, and as you see, by a mere margin of 2, they have joined the 1,000 win club, which as we trace this game cycle, I don't know that there's going to be a ton of people that ever enter the 1,000 win club in Perfect. It's really difficult to get 1,000 wins. You're talking about 11, 12, 13 seasons, depending on how many wins you're gathering on average per week. And both the Rumps and the Fury are now in that elite and prestigious club. And you know what? No one's really that close behind them. We have the San Angelo Warbirds now representing number 3 on the leaderboard. They're at 749. So they are a good 3 seasons away if they're able to avoid the relegation Puma before they could claim that same stat. All right, so let's check out the Fury here. So runs scored, 7th in the league at 741. Runs allowed, 658, 3rd in the league. So we're looking at a run differential less than 100, but still pretty darn good. And then we check how good the defense is. So how important is defense as part of their build? I would say pretty darn important. It's 0.69 on the defensive efficiency. Not elite, but pretty good. 0.69, just beneath that target mark we have of 0.7. But the zone rating is off the charts here. Plus 28.4. Good for 2nd in the conference. Definitely a team that can go grab it. Now on the home road split. At home, we've got a 51-30 record, good for a 629 win percentage on the road, 42-39. So a team that really stacks it up at home, but can hold their own on the road as well. As we look at the calendar for the week that was, pretty consistent. 3 consecutive 17-win months started their season. They had a little bit of an up and down July at 12-13, and then closed out with more of a whimper than a roar, but good enough to really carry the good record and lead that they had started in the week. Now let's look at the ballpark. Now the Detroit Fury, I want to say for every single week leading up to this one, Imperfect had been a lefty cheese team. Well, they are not a lefty cheese team here tonight. They're a neutral park, but it is a unique neutral park. So we've got the batting average boosted both sides at 1.05, so that's the midpoint between the neutral and the max you can do, and the same action is being seen on the home run side. Lefties 1.05, righties 1.05. So what does that mean? That means that within this ballpark, average is going to play up, home runs are going to play up. And then you see that Doc is also making an alteration to the doubles and triples, bringing those down. So from 1.0 to 0.94 on the doubles, 0.94 on the triples. So who does this park help? Who does it hurt? So if you've got a guy who is doing a ton of gap power, that's the type of hitter that's going to be hurt by this type of park. Whereas guys living with the high batting average, living over the fence with the home run ball, they can all play up. And as you'll see from the roster that we'll take a look at now, he's got some elite cards to do so. And look what's going on in the chat here. I'm just yammering away, and Snaggle J is gifting out 5 subs to the community. Thank you so much, Snaggle. Appreciate it. Hopefully, Bozazar, Archlich 811, Breedev, General Kenobi, the Bold one. Bold one. I thought I had someone joining me in the bald category, but that's bold, not bald. And then Yellow Man KGB, welcome into the clubhouse, guys. I got Ozzy7227, thanks for the support as always. And then 4score4, you guys rock. You guys totally rock. And we've got a hype train emote to share as well. A cute little doggy, a little pupper. All right, so this Detroit Fury build is a whale special. You've got John McGraw leading off, Roger Connor batting second, Richie Ashburn, which is an option you can go to in center field as opposed to your Oscar Charleston or Hanlon. Now, Ashburn's going to cost you a pretty penny, but he is an option you can go to, and the Ashburns that we've seen in Perfect have been hitting the cover off the ball. You'll see that later on in the broadcast. And so you look at this VR lineup and you say, okay, that's a pretty whaley lineup. You got McGraw, Connor, Keeler, Ashburn, pretty whaley. And then you look at the VL lineup and the whaleness jumps to 10. This goes from beluga whale to blue whale real quick here. Paul Hines, center field. Frank Robinson. Many people probably haven't even seen this card. It's the PTCS. Maybe it's not PTCS. It's a Championship Series card, Frank Robinson, which is totally just an incredible card. I mean, look at this thing. It's bluer than the ocean. The VR profile is great. The VL profile is great. The defense is great in both corners and can also plug in at first base if you need him to. Frank Robinson, a card that we have not seen as part of a World Series broadcast in the past, but we are seeing tonight. So the VL lineup has Hines, has Frank Robinson, has Joe DiMaggio. So a number of top cards being brought to you tonight by Doc. Now, from a pitching perspective, I found this pretty interesting. So the thing that I like to look at is how people are doling out their innings in the regular season. And you see with Doc here, his number one pitcher in the regular season in terms of innings was Gaylord Perry, 194. And Gaylord Perry, for me, has been just god-awful. So I found it interesting that Doc, who's a player that I have a ton of respect for, is deploying a pitcher that has been just an absolute train wreck for me as his number one arm in terms of quantity of innings. And Gaylord Perry was actually fantastic for him as well, 3.01 ERA over the course of the season. Now behind him, you have Matt Morris, a movement special starting pitcher there. You have Felix Hernandez from a big jump there from 182 innings down to 144. And then you see Derek Lowe and Epa Rixey. Now, Epa Rixey's deployment is interesting here. You see 32 games started, but 60 games appeared overall. So what does that mean? That likely means a lot of opening appearances. That likely means that he was used in short sprints, and we can see that here with the game log. Up until the postseason, Epa Rixey was more often than not a reliever, although we do see some starts in here. I'm guessing that those likely occurred in lefty cheese ballparks, oftentimes on the road. So Doc, a very active deployment of his pitchers, very far from a set it and forget it. As you can see, every pitcher on this roster got a start this season, including Eric Gagne. So this is what the pitching staff can look like for a team that is looking at their opponents, that is looking at the matchups to come, and is strategically placing their pitchers in the right place to be successful. All right, let's look at the path. How did the Fury get to this point? So round 1, 3-1 victory over the Long Island Ducks. Round 2, 4-2 victory over the Las Vegas Pit Vipers. And then in the semis, you had the Detroit Fury knocking out the Chad Golden Rumps. Look at the bottom right of your screen. That's number 1 and number 2 all-time in Perfect League wins, going up against one another for the opportunity to go to this World Series. Doc wins it and wins it convincingly in a 5-game series. Now, we talked a little bit about Doc's history in the past, and I feel like just looking at this page is only half the story, really. We'll start here. 11 seasons imperfect, 10 seasons imperfect, making the playoffs, has not won a title yet. He did make the World Series earlier this game cycle, did not come out on top, so now his second opportunity in the World Series. And dating back to PT21, Doc, despite spending a ton of time in the Perfect League, a ton of time in the Perfect League World Series, did not win a World Series championship then either. So Doc looking to cross off a to-do that's long been on his list and could very well do it tonight against the Schrodinger's bats. Let's look at those Schrodinger's bats now. So we'll follow that same path that we did for the Fury. The Schrodinger's bats, 744 on the runs scored, 644 on the runs allowed, which is oddly almost identical to Doc. So the Schrodinger's bats actually get to a 100 run differential, which is slightly better than Doc. But in terms of the composition there, both of them are right around the median mark for runs scored, both of them elite in the run prevention category, and then doing so with similar defenses as well. So the Schrodinger's bats right at 0.689, which is just beneath Doc's 0.69, and then a zone rating heavy performance as well. Now, where we'll see some deviation is that the Schrodinger's bats here, they have an elite home record, 52 win home slate, 52 and 29. On the road, though, they had their struggles. So the bats did not exactly win a ton of games this week, and the road record was the biggest reason why. 33 and 48. 15 games under 500 for our World Series team. So one of the things that we'll be watching tonight is, can the bats win on the road? They're going to need to. Doc has home field advantage. So the Bats are going to need at least one road game. Can they find it with a team that has struggled to do so this year? Now, as we look at the calendar here, it was kind of up and down all season long. A 14-11 April, 13-14 May, 16-10 June, 12-14 July, 16-13 August, 13-14 September. So alternating between good months and bad months, but enough good outweighing the bad to make the playoffs, and then the rest being history. Let's look at the ballpark. So we have a neutral average park, we have a neutral gapped park, and we have a minned out home run park. So down at 0.9 each-handedness. So this type of park would punish power bats. Think Hank Greenberg. Think Giambi. Think power bats that they're providing the majority of their value through the long ball. A stadium like this might convince you to go Ned Hanlon over, say, an Oscar Charleston. Let's take a look at the lineups. So we've got another Roger Connor. So we've got Roger Connor on both sides of this one. Interestingly, we've got a Ricky Henderson. Now, Henderson has been showing well in perfectly data. We'll show that at some point during the stream here tonight. We've got a Joe DiMaggio playing both ways, versus right and versus left. Willie Keeler out in right field. So not quite as whaley as Doc's build, as it's actually impossible to get more whaley than Doc's build. But this is a good team. This is a good team for sure. And with Roger Connor in the middle of that lineup versus right, can do a lot of damage. All right, let's check out the pitching. So we've got three arms that really stood out in terms of utilization over the rest. We have Epa Rixey, Felix Hernandez, and John Smoltz all exceeding the 200 innings pitched threshold. Just behind them, we have Glavine and Blue, who had mixed deployment. A number of starts, a number of games in relief as well. And then within the bullpen, we see Hudson and Santana as the most often used true and pure relievers. Now let's check out that Bats path to this World Series. We already know one of the teams they beat. Let's check out the other one. So the Bats entered as the 8th seed on this side of the conference. And they proceeded to sweep out the number 1 seed Turtle Bears. Proceeded to nearly sweep out the Naperville Nomads. Overrated. And then goes 4-2 over the Gonzaga Bulldogs. So the Bats have really yet to be challenged within a series. They've won each one with at least a margin of a couple games here and haven't really had to sweat. So they're coming in with around similar amounts of rest to the Fury, but they really are not quite battle-tested here in the playoffs. As we look at the Bats' history, managed by Eric Burns, they're a team that's lived in Diamond this entire game cycle and has been doing a great job in it. So this is not a team that started in Rookie, it's a team that started in Iron. To Bronze, to Silver, to Gold, to Diamond, and then has been in Diamond for, if you can count how many weeks that is in a row, what is that, 15, 16 weeks in a row, with a team winning 90-plus games every season, a team making the playoffs just about every season, but hadn't quite figured out the riddle that is the Diamond League playoffs. Finally did that last week, did it in a 116-win season, makes perfect, and then here in perfect, an 85-win regular season has translated to an opportunity to win a Perfect League World Series. So those are the Bats. First week in perfect, first playoffs, and now trying for their first Perfect League World Series victory. So let us grab a straw poll and see who you guys think is going to win tonight. Fury or the Bats? Here comes the link. Oh, Dishnet. Dishnet teaching me how to be a streamer. You're going to have to stick with me. I'm an old man and I don't know what I'm doing. But I appreciate the tips. Luke subscribing. 6 months for Luke. Thanks so much for the support, man. Thanks so much for the support. All right, the other thing we need to do is we need to draw random winners for our hot seat. So if you look in the top left corner of your screen, you see a label of hot seat, and then you see a winner of random winner. So we need to turn that random winner into actual people. And what is the hot seat? What's it all about? Let me explain after I get this thing cranking. All right, so everyone do exclamation point ticket within the chat, and this will give you an opportunity to win your spot within the hot seat. Here's how it's going to work. We will have one hot seat winner for every game of the World Series. And as you are in the hot seat, you are eligible to win perfect points. And you are eligible to win an uncapped and unlimited amount of perfect points. Now, what's going to determine how many you win? The long ball, baby. Home runs, dingers, taters. So for every home run hit in your game on the hot seat, you will get 10,000 perfect points. So you need to be rooting for one of those Coors Field type games where you get 7, 8, 9 dingers. Go 17, 18 innings. And we will draw a winner for each of the games. We'll start off here with this drawing, and we'll just draw a couple people. And then we'll draw again in the break between games 2 and game 3. And then we'll draw again if and when we know we're going to be traveling for games 6 and 7. 4-score gifting out subs to the community. Thank you so much, my man. That's 5 subs going to Baseball Das, Angry Badger, Walnut 3325, Zen Lunatic, Wazd. Thanks for the support, man. Really appreciate the progress towards the sub goal. You guys are rocking and rolling tonight, and I love you for it. All right, so let's draw some winners. Let's draw some winners now. I'm going to close the giveaway in 3, 2, and 1. And the winner for game 1 is Idolatro 15. And the winner for game 2 is Bose's R. So let's go ahead and get you guys rocking and rolling here. Let me put Idolatro 15 at the top. He is our hot seat winner. So now Idolatro needs to be rooting for a high-scoring affair. Let's get this party started. So we'll go on Be Right Back mode. I'll load up our Game 1 sim, and we'll get started. Lots of fireworks tonight. That's what we're rooting for. Lots of fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's remember we are starting in Doc's Stadium. The Fury are the home team. And so that means it's a stadium that favors high average, high home run, but nerfs out the gaps. So maybe a couple less doubles and triples than we're used to seeing. Let's see how it plays out. Let's pick this game up. In the top of the first, we have Rixey on the mound for the Fury. As we'll see with some of the numbers we'll see over the course of the stream, Rixey just about the best pitcher going in Perfect Team. And he's got a little trouble on his hands here to kick this game off. Ricky Henderson aboard at first base. Pete Rose in the batter's box. The pitch to Rose could be 2. To third, to second, to first, in time. A 5-4-3 double play turned by the combination of Arky Vaughn sliding over from his natural position as shortstop to third. Flipping it on over to Joe Morgan, who finishes the play off with Roger Connor. And that's a double play and the first reason for these Fury fans to cheer here tonight. Not a home run, though, for Idolatro 15. Idolatro 15 still waiting for that first dinger. Let's go bottom one. Maybe we'll find it here. We've got Roger Connor at the plate. John McGraw, and excuse me, that's not any John McGraw. Why, that's fire. John McGraw on second base. John Smoltz on the mound. Smoltz comes set, delivers. This one's looped out to left field, and that ball's going to get down. John McGraw around third. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw! Not in time! The Detroit Fury strike first here in the World Series. They are on the scoreboard, 2 batters into this game. We go bottom 2. We've had some off-camera runs. The Detroit Fury now lead 3-0 over Schrodinger's bats. And the Fury are batting in the second. It's Fire John McGraw batting with Willie Keeler on second base and 1 away. John Smoltz still pitching the pitch. This one's looped out to right center field. That one could get down, and it will. McGraw splits the gap. Scoring easily is Keeler. McGraw's thinking 3. And he'll get it here. No, he's thinking 4. Around third he goes. The throw home, not in time. Inside the Parker for John McGraw. 10,000 perfect points for Idolatro 15. 10,000 perfect points, our first ever perfect league dinger with the hot seat in play. Love it. It's 5-0 Fury. Oh yeah, we pay inside the Parkers. Shoot, we should pay double for those. Don't quote me on that. We won't pay double for those. Let's go bottom 8. It's still 5-0, so massive fast forward here. The Bats now have Craig Kimbrell on the mound. Pitching to Bill Dickey here. We've got Archie Vaughn on first and 1 away here in the 8th. Kimbrell comes set, delivers, and this ball's hit well. Deep to right field. Going back is Keeler. He looks up. That ball's out of here. That ball's out of here. Bill Dickey turns on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right down Main Street. Didn't miss it a bit. Sends it deep into the Detroit night. Gives the Fury a 7-0 lead. And gives Idolatro 20,000 perfect points and counting. We go top 9. It's time for the Fury to close the door here and notch this Game 1 win. They've got 7 runs to work with. Rixey, the original starter, still in this ballgame. But he's got himself in a touch of trouble here. 2 aboard, nobody out for Mike Schmidt. The pitch. And Schmidt crushes this one. You can forget about it. Almost out of the stadium. Mike Schmidt sends this one 400 feet deep to left center. And this 7-0 blowout just all of a sudden gets a lot more interesting. Make it 7-3. Give Idolatro 10,000 more perfect points. And this 9th inning continues. That was an absolute bomb. Rixey likely starting to lose his good stuff here in the 9th inning. Throws this one only at 90 miles an hour on the radar gun. And Schmidt was ready and sent it deep into the night. Still in the 9th here. Now we've got 2 away. Into this game comes Eric Gagne trying to lock it down for the Fury. Jackie Robinson, the last hope for the Bats. Gagne winds, delivers, fly ball left field, well hit. Deep goes Frank Robinson, back to the track, he makes the grab. The Detroit Fury win Game 1 by a final score of 7-3, a game that included 3 long balls, but was more or less controlled by the Fury from start to finish. Rixey with a great start, only to run out of gas here in the 9th inning, and a Detroit Fury offense that got the job done, plating 7 on 10 hits. So Idolatro 15, the way to get your perfect points. DM me on the Discord or whisper me on Twitch with your perfect team username that you want the points to go to. Make sure you have the correct capitalization on the username so that the team has an easy time matching that up. But thank you for playing and congratulations. Let's check the box score just to make sure that there weren't more home runs. We had some off-camera runs. I don't think there's any chance that we'd have an off-camera home run, but you never know. You never know. Check. Home runs, we had McGraw, Dickey, and Schmidt. So 3 home runs, 30,000 perfect points. So yeah, go ahead and Discord, DM me, or Twitch whisper me, and we'll get you those points as soon as we can. Hero Driver 68, completely agree. Schrodinger's Bats is a great name. I love it. Looking at the box score from Game 1, we see that Schrodinger's big problem here was John Smoltz unable to get anything done. Only was able to get through 10 batters, yielding 5 runs in the process. Did give up one of those home runs as well. Now, the pen was able to come in and stabilize. Derek Lowe, Johan Santana, able to stack up over 4 innings of scoreless relief, but the damage had already been done. And while Hudson and Kimbrell gave up a couple more runs, Epa was cruising. Let's go to Game 2. Stakes are big here. Detroit Fury trying to protect home field, whereas the Bats are just looking to leave town with 1. You can forget about that Game 1 loss. You can forget about that John Smoltz rough outing if you're able to find a way to steal a game here. Winning in Detroit is not easy, and Schrodinger struggled winning on the road, as noticed by their .407 road winning percentage. Can they get it done tonight versus the Detroit Furies' Jerry Royce? Let's find out. Oh, wait, we need to get our other winner up in the hot seat. He's not going to be feeling the hot seat unless he actually sees his name up there. Boses R. There we go. Sox fan 1966 saying, what is this Homer contest? For anyone who missed it earlier, the Homer contest is something that's available to everyone. So anyone who's watching the stream can get a ticket for our drawing. And we will draw a different winner for each game. And when you're in the hot seat, you get 10,000 perfect points for every home run that's hit. And that Game 1 had 3 home runs, so Idolatro is walking away with 30,000 perfect points. And now this game, we have Boses R. And we'll see how many home runs come across in this one. Let's get started. We've got Jerry Royce on the mound for the Fury. Starts off with Ricky Henderson here. Henderson was able to reach to lead off Game 1. Can he do so again here in Game 2? He's got a 2-0 advantage in the count. Ooh, I need to update our score bug too. We'll do that after this play. Wind and the pitch, and Henderson cracks this one. That's going to split the gap and be extra bases. Henderson, an extremely fast base runner, gets to second, will stop there. That's a leadoff double for the Bats. And just what they needed to start off on the right foot here in Game 1. All right, now let me give Fury Game 1. In the top right, score bug. So slide Ricky Henderson over to third. Notch and out. I'm guessing what happened there is Pete Rose grounded out to the right side of the infield. Which brings up Joe DiMaggio with an opportunity to put the Bats on the board and give them an early lead here in Game 2. But it's not any Joe DiMaggio. No, look at your lineup card in the bottom left corner of your screen. This is fire, Joe DiMaggio. And you don't want to mess with one of those. Royce set, delivers, grounded to short. Fields thrown across in time. DiMaggio retired, but the Fury conceding the run allow Ricky Henderson to score, and the Bats now leading this one 1-0. We go top 2. Royce has himself in more trouble. Second and third have Heilman and Robinson respectively. As Royce faces Henderson here. Henderson hit a gap double in the first inning. Is he able to come through again here in the second? Royce set, delivers, loop to right field. That ball gets down. 1 run will score. Here comes Jackie. He will score. And the Schrodinger's bats lead 3-0 and are pouring it on here in Detroit. Jerry Royce tried the curveball in the outer half, and Ricky was ready for it, almost sitting on it. Keeps his weight back and dumps it out to right field. Frank Robinson, despite being a great defender with a great arm, had no chance to throw out a speedy Jackie Robinson at the plate on this one. 3-0 bats. Now we go bottom 2. First chance for the Fury to strike back. They trail by 3. But they've got Buddy Bell in scoring position, 2 away, and Dave Bancroft at the dish. Facing the Schrodinger's bats, Tommy Glavine. 1-1 count on Bancroft. The pitch, and Bancroft loops this one to left field. That ball's down. Around third is Bell. Heading to the plate. He scores. Dave Beauty Bancroft, someone who's had more than a few moments on these World Series streams, comes through again here from the 9 spot in the order. Puts the Fury on the board. Now we go bottom 4, 2 away, bases empty for Dave Beauty Bancroft again. Back-to-back Bancroft highlights. What are the odds? Glavine winds, delivers, and Bancroft gets into one. Deep to left field. Gone! Bancroft gets a fastball up in the zone. Not known for the power. Was able to get all of this one. 379 happy feet for the Fury and their fans here in Detroit. And 10,000 happy perfect points for Bo Zazar in the hot seat. Ring the register, says Extreme UW, and he's not wrong. Dave Beauty Bancroft now responsible for both runs for the Fury. Let's use our matchup analyzer to see how odd that is. I can tell you Dave Bancroft's not the best hitter in perfect. In fact, he's much closer to being the worst. This is what Dave Bancroft has put up the last 3 weeks. A .213 average, a .287 on base percentage, a .339 slug, good for a .626 OPS, and about 18 batting runs worse than an average hitter. But he has come through in a big way tonight for the Fury and has single-handedly dragged them back within 1. Still bottom 4. So a rally entirely born with 2 outs here. We had Bancroft go deep, Jackie Robinson doubles, and now Paul Hines bats with a 3-0 count. The pitch to Hines, he'll take this one. That's ball 4. And the Fury rally continues. That's going to put things into the hands of Pete Rose, but look at your lineup card. It's not any Pete Rose. No, no, no. That right there is fire. Pete Rose. Let's set up the matchup analyzer in full for this one. We've got Tommy Glavine versus Wright. We have got Pete Rose versus left, advantage to the hitter. Again, our matchup analyzer is displaying the past 3 weeks of perfect league play. So Tom Glavine has thrown 9,000 innings versus right-handed batting in the past 3 weeks. Pete Rose has batted versus left-handed pitching 29,000 times. And these are the numbers that have been generated in those circumstances. Big opportunity here for the Fury to even this one. 0-1 count the pitch, and Fury lines this one to left. Robinson around third. He will try to score. The throw from Henderson. Not in time. We've got a tie ball game. We are tied at 3 on the Pete Rose RBI single. Tom Glavine hangs a slider, and Rose rifles it through the 5.5 hole and ties this game up. Still in the 4th, and we've got PTCS Frank Robinson now batting with 2 runners in scoring position. Now, Frank Robinson is not someone we see a ton of on these streams. In fact, we've never seen him on this stream. Well, we're seeing him tonight, and in that process, we can see that versus left-hand pitching in the bottom right corner of your screen, you can see he is a deadly hitter. 822 OPS in these situations over the past 3 weeks, and he's got the opportunity here to give the Fury the lead. 2-2 count, the pitch. Ground ball to third and through! Hines will score. Rose will score. Frank Robinson pulls into second with a 2 RBI double. Fury lead 5-3. Clutch 2-out heading by the Fury. This bottom of the 4th, with started ever so quietly with the first 2 hitters, both recording outs, ends up in a 4-run Fury rally. Say that 10 times fast. 4-run Fury rally. 4-run Fury for I tried. But a 4-run 4th for the Fury, all starting with 2 outs, has them now leading this game and has the bats playing from behind. Now they will bat here in the 5th, still against Jerry Royce. They've got Ricky Henderson aboard to lead off this inning, the 3rd time that Henderson has gotten a hit to lead off an inning in this game. And now Pete Rose will bat. The pitch. Rose ground ball to short, could be 2 to second, 1 to first, double play. 6-4-3 for the Fury. And Pete Rose hits into his second double play of this World Series. Not what the bats needed, as they are looking to recapture the momentum after a very tough bottom of the 4th. Still top 5. Joe DiMaggio comes in against Jerry Royce. Again, not any Joe here. This is Fire Joe DiMaggio. What does he have in mind for Jerry Royce here? Let's check a couple of things. 1, let's check Jerry Royce's movement. His movement versus right is 84. What does movement do? Movement directly correlates to how well they keep the ball within the ballpark. Let's check the ballpark. This ballpark is a 1.05 home run factor, meaning that it's going to have roughly 5% more homers than a neutral ballpark. And then let's check the hitter, Joe DiMaggio, versus left-hand pitching, power of 142. A very dangerous at-bat here for the Fury, facing a Fire Joe DiMaggio. Royce winds, Royce delivers, and Joe DiMaggio crushes this one! Deep to left center! Gone! Joe DiMaggio sends one into the night. 5th home run of the postseason for Joe DiMaggio. This one goes 376 to left center and brings the bats back within 1 and brings Beau Cesar 10,000 more perfect points. A tough matchup for the Fury in that at-bat, and the matchup did not swing in their favor. Still top 5, very next hitter, Mike Schmidt, and everything we said about that last at-bat, everything we said about Royce being low movement, about this park being power plus, about the hitter being a power hitter is true for Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt actually has a higher power rating than DiMaggio did. Do we dare see back-to-back the pitch? And this ball's hit well deep to left field. Back goes Rose. Back to the track. To the wall. Gone. The bats go back to back. DiMaggio and Schmidt play long ball. And they've given us a brand new ball game. 10,000 more perfect points to Beau Cesar. And a 5-5 score. Oh, baby. Still top 5. This is so interesting. So the Fury build a crazy 2-out rally in the bottom of the 4th, stacking 4 runs, and the bats are now answering here in the 5th. purely with 2 outs. They've picked up 2 so far, looking to add to it. The Fury have seen enough of their Jerry Royce. They brought in Pedro Martinez to try to put this fire out. He'll pitch to Harry Heilman with Lou Boudreau on first base. The pitch, and that is going to be a wide one. Misses inside with a heater. That's a 5-pitch walk for Heilman. And now Jackie Robinson will come up next. This stadium, which was nothing but celebrations and cheering moments ago, now a very tense moment here and now. Here's Jackie. This one is hit to center field. Going to be a tough play. Approaching it and making the grab is Paul Hines. Jackie hit it on the nose. 100-plus exit velocity. But Hines was able to chase it down. And the rain has begun here in Detroit. Rain, rain, go away. Come back another day. It looks like they're pulling the tarp off the field. We should have some baseball here in just a moment. But the rain delay does last 48 minutes. In all likelihood, we could see some new pitchers. Not sure if the Furies' Pedro Martinez will come back out or whomever the bats were pitching will come back out. Perhaps there was a Jason Hayward moment in the locker room on either side here, rallying the troops, whether for the bats or the Fury, to get them in gear. It's time for some more baseball. We go bottom 6. Into this game comes Mike Flanagan. A nice special edition card, showing pretty well as a starter in Perfect League. He'll face off against Paul Hines here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 away, and Jackie Robinson aboard at first base. Flanagan delivers, ground ball to third, could be 2. No! That ball is booted by Mike Schmidt. Paul Hines hits it right at Mike Schmidt, had to move 1 step to his left. It looked like he took his eyes off the ball as he was looking to turn a quick 2. Perhaps it was a factor that Jackie Robinson, a very aggressive and fast base runner, was bearing down on second base. Mike Schmidt's hands started moving faster than he can make the play, and he boots the ball, and everyone is safe here in the 6th. Now Pete Rose comes up. Again, not any Pete Rose, but the fire version of Pete Rose. He'll bat with 2 aboard, 1 away, as the bats have opened up a potential big inning through that third baseman error. Flanagan set, delivers, line drive, base hit left field. Robinson to third. He's going to try to score. The throw from Henderson, not in time, and the Fury lead again. It is 6-5 Detroit Fury, this time on the Pete Rose RBI single. It's his second time this game trying out that 5.5 hole between third and shortstop. What a game we've already witnessed, and we're not even through 6 yet. Next batter up, Frank Robinson facing Mike Flanagan here. Flanagan delivers, and this ball's hit well. Deep to right field. Going back is Keeler. Back to the track. To the wall. Gone! Oppo Taco time for Frank Robinson. And that's a delicious one. A 3-run Bojack for Frank Robinson. Blows this game wide open for the Fury. Let's go from 6-5 to 9-5. But let's not forget that this game has been nothing but big innings. And so let's not bury it quite yet. We move to the top of the 8th. The Detroit Fury, through some off-camera runs, extend their 9-5 lead up to 11-5, and are now trying to protect that and have 6 outs to go. 6 outs to go to protect this lead, and John Smoltz is into this game for the Fury. He'll face Willie Keeler, but he's already got a couple men aboard and nobody out. Smoltz comes set, delivers, looper out past short and down. A little Babbitt monster shot there from Willie Keeler. That loads him up for the bats. Del Crandall, the next hitter. We'll use our matchup analyzer to show you just how horrible of a matchup this is for the bats. Let's get John Smoltz in our pitcher matchup analyzer. John Smoltz versus right, Del Crandall versus right. Just an absolutely atrocious matchup here as Crandall cannot hit righties. I mean, frankly, he can't really hit lefties all that well, but he's even worse versus righties. And John Smoltz pretty darn effective versus right-handed batters. If you're the Schrodinger's bats here and you can get out of this play with only one out, I'm going to call that a win. Turn the lineup over and try to do your damage with Henderson, Rose, and DiMaggio. But let's see what happens. Smoltz to Crandall. The pitch. Ground ball to first, to second. One. Unable to complete the double play. So a fielder's choice. It goes 3-6 on the play. Scoring is Heilman. Being retired at second is Keeler. Crandall will take first base. And now they'll have runners at the corners, one away. And their sixth run notched on this board. Ricky Henderson comes up next. We'll see how much better of a matchup this Ricky Henderson spot is versus Del Crandall. Where are you, Ricky? There you are. So as you can see here, significantly better matchup. Ricky Henderson proving to be about a league average bat versus right-hand pitching. OBP heavy on the profile, but getting it done with a 248 average, just slightly below perfect league average as well. He's got a full count here. Smoltz delivers, ball 4. Ricky Henderson works the 6-pitch walk. John Smoltz just misses down in the zone there with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Didn't like the call, nothing he can do about it though, as he'll now have to face Pete Rose with the bases loaded, and just like that, the Schrodinger's bats have the tying run in the on-deck circle. Here's Pete Rose. 2-0 count. Fury and their fans hoping for a double play ball. Schrodinger's bats looking for any sort of base hit here that can bring up Fire DiMaggio representing the tying run. The pitch. Line drive up the middle. Base hit. Scoring is Jackie. Around third is Crandall. He'll stop there. It is now 11-7. And just as the Fury fans feared, Joe DiMaggio, Fire. Joe DiMaggio now bats representing the tying run. Oh, what he could do to this game and this ballpark with one swing of the bat. We'll pull up his matchup analyzer to see what he does versus right-hand pitching. As you can see, he is a menace. 436 slug. And that's the metric probably most important to the Fury and their fans now. Now, the Fury are aggressively looking for the play at the plate here. They've got a 4-run lead, but they're looking to get Del Crandall out at home. They're also uber shifting. They've got 3 defenders to the left of second base. It's a full count. We've got the fans on their feet here trying to root on John Smoltz to make the perfect pitch in this spot here. Smoltz comes set, delivers, ball 4. Joe DiMaggio works an RBI walk. It is now 11-8. And now walking to the plate is a man who hit a home run in his last time up, Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt bats against Smoltz here. Fury fans still showing support, on their feet, trying to root for any kind of double play, any kind of out to be recorded here. It's been a long time since we've had one. 4 consecutive batters, now 5 consecutive batters have reached the tying run. Now at first base, the go-ahead run at home plate in the form of Mike Schmidt, who, as I mentioned a moment ago, hit one into the bleachers last time up. 1-1 count, the pitch. Fly ball on the infield. Who's going to grab it? Jackie Robinson will make the grab. A big and important out for the Fury as they finally notch the second out. And now representing the final hope for this rally was going to be Lou Boudreau. But no, Lou Boudreau is pinch hit for by Roger Connor. What can we expect with Roger Connor coming to the plate? Well, shocker here, Roger Connor is incredible. Roger Connor, the best hitter in the game versus right-hand pitching, and he is coming off the top rope right here with mean plans for this upcoming John Smoltz pitch. You see he's got an 849 OPS versus right-hand pitching, a 300 hitter, near 400 OBP, 23 runs better than the league average hitter versus right-hand pitching. Can he come through here in the 8th? Smoltz comes set, delivers the ground ball up the middle, fields it, throws to second in time! The animation looked a little wonky there, but the Fury get it done. Robinson fields it, flips it to Bancroft, and that will end the inning. Roger Connor will strand the bases loaded and will head to the bottom of the 8th with the Detroit Fury clinging to a 3-run lead, 11-8. Here in the bottom of the 8th, we have Vida Blue now pitching for the Schrodinger's bats. He'll face Roger Connor. Now, as dangerous as Roger Connor is versus right, it is not quite the same story versus left. As you see in the bottom right corner of your screen, Connor only a 651 OPS versus left-hand pitching. That's not his bag, baby. 2-0 count. Blue winds, Blue delivers, and Connor rifles this one out to left field. That's a base hit. A 2-out single for Connor extends the inning to bring up Fire John McGraw, but nothing doing there. McGraw retired, inning over. So we go to the top of the 9th, in what has been a crazy game so far. The Fury will try to protect this 3-run lead. They need to get 3 outs before the Bats can cross home plate 3 times. They'll send out Noodles Hahn, a packable 100, to do so. He'll face Harry Heilman first. Hahn winds, delivers. Heilman's going to loop this one out to right field. That ball's going to get down. It's a leadoff single for Heilman. And the Schrodinger's bats just trying to do whatever they can to bring the tying run to the plate. They're going to need one more base hit to do so. But they're not far from flipping the lineup over to the top. Now 2 outs, and it's Del Crandall. Crandall is the last hope for the Schrodinger's bats. The Detroit Fury come to their feet. They need one more out to finish this one off and lead 2-0 as they head to Schrodinger. Hahn winds, delivers, blooper out to center field and down. A 2-out single for an icy cold Del Crandall is going to extend this game for at least another batter and successfully accomplish the Bats being able to send up the tying run. That will be in the form of Ricky Henderson. We just looked at his versus right numbers. We'll look at them, versus right numbers. Now let's look at his versus left numbers as he's facing Noodles Hahn. And then let's pull up Noodles Hahn. So Noodles Hahn versus right. We're going to give the advantage to the hitter here. 2-2 count, 1 strike away from the Fury going up 2-0. Wind, the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Noodles Hahn strikes out Ricky Henderson. And the Detroit Fury have earned the interpretive dance routine out in front of home plate right now, as they had to work every bit of this 11 runs and 14 hit outburst that propels them to a 3-run victory. The Schrodinger's bats, despite plating 8, despite notching 12 hits, are undone, perhaps in part by their 3 fielding errors. So let's give the Fury game 2. And the Sims just keep on coming. Maxime Mester. I don't know how to say that. I need to figure that out. You're here every week, and I don't know how to say your screen name. Mexi Memester? I bet it's Mexi Memester. Either way, we'll get to the Bad Art Champ in just a moment. We normally do it in the travel between games 2 and game 3. So let's see where we're at in the series. It looks like game 3 is ready, but let's take a moment here. Let's just take a moment to look at some numbers before we do so. We're going to need to draw some winners, too, for game 3, 4, and 5. All right, so let's take a look at the winners for this week. This can't be right. Tony Fernandez is not the winner of this week. We're looking at VL numbers. Here we go. All right, so the winner of the week, as I teased in my Discord, and anyone who needs an invite. That didn't work. Anyone who needs an invite can have one there. But the winner of the week is Richie Ashburn. So Richie Ashburn, Dishnet 34's Richie Ashburn, came in with 19.22 BAT R this week. Now, in the past, I have had plate appearance minimums of 1,000, but then we miss out on some cards like this, some cards like Dave Winfield down below. So I lowered it to 600 plate appearances, and because of that, Richie Ashburn is your winner of the week. And he didn't just win by a little bit, he won by a lot. He won by a lot. I think there's actually an Ashburn on the auction house right now, 305. Yeah. So Roger Connor is our best hitter over 1,000 plate appearances. Right behind him, John McGraw. We have Joe DiMaggio coming in at 8.49. Harry Heilman, Pete Rose, Jim O'Rourke. That O'Rourke card's a fun card. I'll let you guys take a peek at it here. So that O'Rourke card can really be placed anywhere. I mean, you're not going to want to put it behind the plate. You're not going to want to put it at third base. You're not going to want to put it in center field, and you shouldn't. But you could. Comes with stock defense all over the place. Great base runner. Can hit versus left. Can hit versus right. Tony Fernandez actually hit this week. Tony Fernandez hasn't been hitting a bunch lately. JD had over 100 ribbies for Caprine Assassin. Joe DiMaggio. Yeah, DiMaggio's hitting. He's definitely hitting. I think he's hitting versus left and versus right. So versus left, DiMaggio comes in third. Versus right, which is hard for right-handed batters to do, he's coming in 12th. 4 looking for Joe Morgan. Where is our buddy Joe Morgan? He should be right around here for VR. Kind of a rough week for Morgan. 2.35 VR. That's lower than we've seen him. And we know the VL is going to be really bad. All right, let's get back to our games here. No one saw any spoilers before. We have no idea what's going to happen here. Yeah, Caprine Assassin Hines is not really... He's not made special by just what his bat does. It's his defense, it's his base running, it's his bat. It's all three together. It's the need to not be platooned, or the lack of need to be platooned. Is this the Oakland ballpark? This looks good. PSA for you guys. Make sure you update your ballparks. It makes it more fun for all of us. And let's pull some winners for dingers for round 2. Let's open up a new giveaway. We need to get some new people on the hot seat. Let's call this one games 3, 4, and 5. Dingers hot seat. And we will get it started in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but as you throw emotes in the chat, you will see them sprinkle themselves in the bottom right corner of the screen. So whether it's my stupid face, like this, or the meta, or the BABIP. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. But yeah, we can you can have fun with that as much as you want. But yeah, everyone grab your ticket. We'll figure out who our winner is for games 3, 4, and 5, and hopefully there's a number of home runs hit. Now, do remember, this Bats Ballpark is neutral average, neutral gaps, and minimum home runs. So if there's not a ton of home runs hit on this one, you've got one person to blame, and that's Eric Burns. Now for Bose's R, make sure you DM me on Discord or whisper me on Twitch with your Perfect Team username so that we can get you your, what was it, 40,000 perfect points? I think there were 4 home runs last game. I'll make sure I count it and I'll get you the correct number. But congratulations, that's one heck of a pull. All right, we are going to pull our winners now. Closing the giveaway in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Giveaway closed. And our Game 3 hot seat will go to Zen Lunatic 16. Our Game 4 hot seat will go to Balam Bang Jang. I'm sure I'm not doing a great job on pronouncing that either. Our Game 5 hot seat, assuming we need one. Now, if we don't need one, I'm sorry. For whoever's name I'm about to draw, I don't have a consolation prize for you. So for you to win anything, there has to be a game. I'm pulling Game 5. We don't know for sure that we need it yet. Oh, and Game 5 is DishNet 34. DishNet 34. We'll give Dish some cheers. We'll give Dish some cheers. All right, so let's go Zen Lunatic to start things off. Zen Lunatic 16. That's what I want to know, Mike ABC. What happened to the first 33 dish nets? That's the big question. But we'll have to answer that after the ball game because right now we've got Epa Rixey taking the hill for Schrodinger's Bats, who is just about the best pitcher in all of Perfect Team, and he's going to face a tough lineup here. He's going to face a lineup where every hitter that walks up to that dish against him is going to be batting right-handed. So how well can Epa Rixey do? Let's get things started here in the first with Jackie Robinson leading off. The pitch, ground ball to third, and that one gets all the way down the line. Jackie Robinson's going to lead off this game with an extra base hit. He pulls on into second. He'll stop there. It's a leadoff double for the Detroit Fury. We go bottom 4. And the Schrodinger's Bats have a great opportunity here with 2 men on, nobody out. Willie Keeler at the plate. 2-1 count as Gaylord Perry, the card that I can't get to work well, but also a card that led the Detroit Fury in innings pitched and also did so with a 3.01 ERA on the hill. 2-1 count. The pitch to Keeler. Keeler flies this one to left. Ranging over is Rose. He'll make the grab. Fires it in right away. No advancement for the runners. That's 1 away. Very next batter is Del Crandall, but look at your lineup card. Not any Del Crandall. This is an icy cold. A terribly icy cold Del Crandall. Perry comes set, delivers, and that's ball 4. Icy cold Crandall works a 5-pitch walk. Gaylord Perry went to the off-speed on the 3-1 pitch, unable to locate it. And now he's got to deal with a bases-loaded rally and the Schrodinger's Bats lineup card flipping over. Idolatro, I'm with you. Del Crandall never hits a darn thing for me. Ricky Henderson, next batter up. We see the Fury aggressively going for the out at home again. We're in the 4th inning of a tie ball game, and they're playing for Harry Heilman at home. All 4 infielders onto the cut of the grass. 1-2 count against Ricky. Perry winds, deliver, swing, and a miss, strike 3. Gaylord Perry goes to his rarely used sinker. Likely surprised Ricky Henderson. Was able to get him to swing over the top of it. for a very important second out of this inning here in the fourth. And now the rally falls to Pete Rose. The infield has an opportunity to go back to their normal positions. And the Schrodinger's bats are at risk of stranding the bases loaded for the second time in this series. Perry comes set, delivers, fly ball left field. That ball's got a chance to get down, and it will. 1 run will score. Here comes Jackie. He will score. And the Schrodinger's bats take a 2-0 lead here in this one. Oh, super fast forward, guys. Look at the inning. We have jumped all the way to the bottom of the 8th, and the bats are still leading in this one. Our homer count for this game is 0. So for Zen Lunatic, you've got to hope that we find a long-distance call here sooner rather than later. Now, we know that the Oakland home stadium in real life is a difficult one to homer in, and we also know that this park is minned out from ballpark factors, so it might just not be in the cards. Well, we'll find out here. The Detroit Fury now have Felix Hernandez into this game. Their Gaylord Perry gives up 2 runs and then goes by the way of the exits. And now Hernandez is tasked with keeping it just there. 1 out in this one for Jackie. Wide and the pitch, and Jackie dinks this one out in front of home. Perry fields it, throws to first, not in time. Jackie Robinson hustling the entire way. Beats out an infield hit. This little dribbler out in front of home was right in no man's land. No chance for Del Crandall to pounce on it. Felix Hernandez, not the best fielding pitcher. Did his best, but unable to field it and fire it in time. A 1-out single for Jackie. Nothing doing. We go top 9. Detroit Fury down to their final out. We've got Epa Rixey on the mound. Versus versus Paul Hines, excuse me. Fans on their feet here. Paul Hines versus left. Major advantage to the hitter here, but Epa Rixey, the toughest customer and perfect team from a pitching perspective. Now, big stakes of this at-bat here. If Hines is able to reach, then you have Fire Pete Rose representing the tying run. Rixey rocks, fires, ground ball to third. Schmidt fields it, on over to first, in time! And the Schrodinger's bats win Game 3 by a total of 2-0. A 9-inning complete game shutout for Epa Rixey, yielding only 2 base hits against a very tough lineup, including lefty mashers such as Jackie Robinson, Paul Hines, Pete Rose, Frank Robinson, Joe DiMaggio, Buddy Bell. But he gets the job done. Fireworks at home. Let's update our score bug and give the bats Game 3. We don't need lowercase letters. What is this all about? There we go. So the series now stands at 2-1 Fury. Let's look at the box score to see what happened. Just as suspected, Epa Rixey with just an epic performance here. 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts, 101 pitch masterpiece, and just what the doctor ordered for the Schrodinger's bats. They were down in the series 2-0, a must-win home game, Game 3, and they get the job done. Against the Detroit Fury, who opted to go for a Noodles Hahn open, Gaylord Perry follow to be closed out with Felix Hernandez. Now, no one did that poorly. Gaylord Perry perhaps a little bit liberal with his base runners here, allowing 9 base runners in 5 innings, but only 2 earned runs. It's just when you're up against an absolute monster on top of his game like Rixey, there's not a whole lot you can do. I say this with firsthand experience as my Rixey was an absolute beast this year. 22-4 with a 2.86 ERA in perfect. I will be shocked when this is over if he is not named the Cy Young Award winner for this year's Perfect League. So, for Zen Lunatic 16, we did not get a home run. So, unfortunately, your stay on the hot seat was not quite as profitable as our winners in Games 1 and Game 2. But best of luck next time. Let's go ahead and update our hot seat and get our next contestant. And that is Balambang Jang. Let's see if it fits. Let's see if it fits. And it fits. And it fits. So, Game 4 is ready for us. Let's go grab it. So how you guys liking the new format so far? You guys like the hot seat? You guys like hanging out on my personal channel instead of the mothership? Anyone missing their drops yet? Yeah, we'll just have fun. I heard DishNet say the same thing the other day, and I'll say it myself. Any feedback you guys have that could improve the broadcast, it's an open door policy. Happy to hear any feedback that you guys have. Actually had someone with a history in radio reach out the other day and offer some words of advice, and that's always welcome. This show is for you, and in a lot of ways it's by you. So anything that you guys want to see done in the future, we'll take it under advisement for sure. We don't need no stinking drops. I love it. And we've got OTP Meme Lord subscribing. That's 8 months in the clubhouse. Thanks so much for the support, man. Really appreciate it. I can't believe how big of a chunk we've already taken out of the subscriber goal. Already up to 79 of the goal of 200. You guys are totally awesome. And I'm loving the support there. And again, trust me, I'm doing everything on my end to confirm and ensure the sustainability of the stream going forward, because I love doing this. It's a part of my Sunday night. I like that it's a part of your Sunday night, and I want to do everything possible to keep that being the case. So let's get into Game 4. So Felix Hernandez has a tough act to follow. His teammate, Rixey, pitched probably one of the best games we've seen all season in Perfect League World Series play. The only one that stands out better than that comes to mind is the Clayton Kershaw no-hitter. Might have been a perfect game to close out a Perfect League World Series earlier this year. Well, he's now got to answer what Rixey did, and if he does so successfully, he'll even this series for his bats. I'm in the wrong sim here. What am I doing? I'm in my own sim. I mean, it's the right team. It's the bats. Oh, I love it. I love it. Would have been a dead giveaway if it had been any other stadium or any other team, but not so. So let's get started here. We've got a Detroit Fury lineup that, as menacing as it looked last sim, it looks just as menacing this game. You've got John McGraw on fire, Pete Rose on fire, and a lineup full of righty killers. Caprine Assassin subscribing with Amazon Prime. Thanks so much, man. McGraw lines this one to second. Easy pitch, easy catch for Jackie Robinson. That's one up and one down. And this Game 4 is underway. Retiring a fire John McGraw to start the game. A very good sign for the bats. We go top two, and now we bring up Pete Rose, but check your lineup cards, ladies and gentlemen. That's not any Pete Rose. No. That is Fire. Pete Rose, and he's going to bat here with one away. Felix Hernandez winds. Felix Hernandez delivers, and this ball is absolutely crushed deep to right field. Hits the top of the wall, and it's playable. Pete Rose will end up at third. Absolutely robbed on the play is Ballpark Jang, who missed a home run by what seemed like inches. From where this broadcaster sits, it looked like that hit the top of the wall, crawled around, and it looked to me like it fell on the other side of it. But it was played, and the umpires let it be played, and it turns out to be a triple, a one-out triple for Pete Rose, 0,000 perfect points for Ballpark Jang, and a nice little second-inning rally for the Fury. Zenith Television subscribing with Amazon Prime. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it. We are over the 80 mark. We are over the 80 mark for subscribers. You guys are awesome and insane, and I love every single one of you. All right, Bill Dickey. Now we'll try to put the first run on the board here. He's facing Hernandez still here in the second. The pitch. Line drive, base hit over the first baseman's head, going for extra bases. Dickey on his way to second. That'll be a one-out RBI double. And the Fury, as was the case in Games 1 and Game 2, grabbed the early lead. Exactly what they wanted to do here in Game 4, trying to recover from that shutout dealt to them yesterday. Top three. We now have Arky Vaughn of the Detroit Fury batting with runners at the corners, one away, as the Schrodinger's bats. Felix Hernandez finding himself in some more trouble. Needs a double play off the bat of Vaughn, and he might just get it. Grounder to short, to second, one to first, double play. A 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Roger Connor's run will not count. And the Schrodinger's bats, for now, keep the deficit at 2. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Fury 2, bats 0. Sean Sull 10 subscribing with Prime. You're the man. Thanks so much for the support. Anyone with Amazon Prime can subscribe for free. You just click the sub button, go to the bottom, click Prime, and you're good to go, and I very much appreciate it. We go top 8. The Fury still leading 2-0, almost a mirror of Game 3, as they are clinging to their 2-0 lead for the majority of the game. They'll now look to add to it here, though. Felix Hernandez still in for the bats, and he'll now face Roger Connor. Wind and the pitch, and Connor dinks this one to first. Going to be a tough play. Rose fields it, throw to first, not in time. Infield single for Roger Connor. A little bit of a miscommunication around the bag, as Rose and Felix couldn't decide who was going to field it and who was going to cover. The miscommunication results in an infield single. Now Connor aboard with nobody out for DishNet 34's favorite player, Richie Ashburn. The pitch, and Ashburn cranks this one down the left field line. That's going for extra bases. Connor's going to try to score. The throw, not in time. Richie Ashburn doesn't hit many over the fence home runs, so that's his version of the Oppo Taco. An extra base hit that clears the bases. Make it 3-0 Fury. And they're still looking to add here in the 8th. They do add. They go from 3-0 to 4-0. And they will now look to close it out here. On the hill, Matt Morris. Batting, Harry Heilman. 2 outs. Lou Boudreau on first. Matt Morris delivers, ground ball right back to him. Throws to first in time, and the Detroit Fury have won Game 4. Four runs, 12 hits for the Fury. 0 runs, 4 hits for the Schrodinger's bats, who are now staring at an all too scary 3-1 series deficit. Let's update our series count. Was this another game without a home run? Oh, and I think Balambang Jang is taking note of that in the chat. Another contestant sent home unhappily. Hate to see it. Let's take a look at the box score. From a pitching perspective, we had Detroit Fury starting with an opener of Eddie Plank, leading into Derek Lowe, and Derek Lowe absolutely crushed it. 7 2/3, 3 hits, 0 walks. Wasn't able to finish his own work as he's not the highest stamina pitcher around, but able to really grab hold of this game and make it his own. Very much emulating what Epirixi did the day before. Matt Morris and Eddie Plank bookending him in the shutout effort for the Fury. On Schrodinger's side, Felix Hernandez wasn't bad. It wasn't necessarily good. 7 1/3, 4 earned runs. Did give up 13 base runners. In what has been a great postseason for Felix, this was not his best effort. Not his best effort. So the good news is, and I should have called this out after Game 3, the good news is that because Game 3 went to the bats, our own DishNet34 gets his chance in the hot seat. And he is going to be eligible for all home runs hit here in Game 5. Now, this stadium is not doing you guys any favors. This stadium, a .9 stadium for home runs, not doing you any favors. 1 on the average for both righties and lefties. 1 on the doubles. 1 on the triples, but .9 on the home runs. Both hands. Both hands. But we shall see what happens. We've got 90 seconds here to Game 5. And we're going to get one of 2 outcomes. We are going to have the Detroit Fury winning their first ever Perfect League after a career that spans extraordinary regular season success in PT21, extraordinary tournament success in PT21, extraordinary regular season success in PT22, and the same thing for tourneys. But winning the Perfect League has been the one thing that just has never fallen into place. And as I showed before with the all-time wins leaders, now 1,002 regular season wins, looking for the one win that matters most. And that is the 4th win in this series that we're watching unfold right now. AA Max Lou asking if the opener had to pitch to 3 batters. I believe he did. He did. So Eddie Plank faced 3 batters. It looks like he got an out. Looks like he gave up a hit, and I'm guessing there was a hit batter. Let's look at the game log. So Ricky ground out. Oh, there was an error. So it was a Ricky ground out, a Pete Rose single, a Joe DiMaggio E5. Oh, loving it, guys. Obelix Prime and DJTX86 both subscribing with Amazon Prime, which is free to anyone who has Amazon Prime. Thanks so much for the support. You are inching us up towards that sub goal, and I'm very, very appreciative. Sim is cranking. The sim is cranking. Is Doc going to finally be a champion? Or are the Bats going to push this thing back to Detroit? Now, at this point in time, the Bats have to win 3 straight against a great team, and they've got to do 1 at home and then 2 on the road. Playing on the road was a struggle for them all season long, only .407 win percentage. So you could say that the odds are stacked against them, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. That doesn't mean it's impossible, and the sim is in. Party on Wayne, party on Garth. Let's go see what happened. Let's go see what happened. You know, until someone wins this series, I am technically the reigning champion. So let's keep this thing going as long as we can. Let's elongate my 8 minutes of fame. All right, here we go. So we've got John Smoltz on the hill for the Schrodinger's bats. Smoltz, one of the newer cards in this game, also a great starter in perfect team. He'll face that same tough lineup that Felix had to face yesterday. He'll start us off against John McGraw. He's already down on the count 3-0. Smoltz battling with his control. Let's see if he can fight back in this at-bat here in the first. Wind and the pitch, and McGraw swinging on 3-0, shoots it out over to short. Boudreau fields it, throws to first in time, and this game is underway. 1 up and 1 down for John Smoltz. Big time warp. This game and this series has really been odd. Aside from that one game that we had where there was run scoring in bunches every other inning, there's been some massive time warps in this one and long stretches of play with very little run scoring. So we go to the top of the 5th. Dishnet still sitting on 0 home runs. It's funny, with the font that I use for the hot seat, it almost looks to me like it says Dishnets instead of Dishnet 34. Maybe that's because in my little screen over here where I'm monitoring this, it's super small. Maybe on your guys' end it looks clearly to say Dishnet 34, but I keep looking up and thinking that I did a typo. But it's Dishnet 34. I think we're good. All right, top 5. Smoltz versus Bill Dickey. Uh-oh. Look at the lineup card, guys. This ain't any old Bill Dickey. Why, it's fire Bill Dickey. And what does he have in mind for this John Smoltz pitch? The wind, the pitch, and Bill Dickey shoots this one deep to right center. Ball go far. 10,000 perfect points to Dishnet 34 and a 1-0 lead for the Detroit Fury, who now have a lead and an opportunity to win the World Series. Bill Dickey. Dishnet 34 now owes Bill Dickey. Oh, we go bottom 5. Epa-Rixey. Best starter in this game, now facing Del Crandall, a tiring Del Crandall. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Jackie Robinson in scoring position. The pitch. Crandall crushes this one to left center field. That ball's going to get down. Scoring easily is Jackie. Crandall on his way to second. He's tied it up. I think that I do need to get a register ring sound. I'm going to need that. That's a brilliant idea. This game now tied up at 1. Del Crandall splits the gap, scores Jackie, and we've got a brand new ball game here in the 5th. Now let's move to the 6th, and Detroit Fury fans do not like what they see here. We've got a leadoff Pete Rose on first base and a Joe DiMaggio at the plate. Again, not any Joe DiMaggio, but fire Joe DiMaggio ahead in the count 3-1. The pitch. DiMaggio lines this one to third, fielded by Archie Vaughn, throws to second, gets one. Unable to complete the double play is Joe Morgan as he struggled with the transfer from glove to hand. DiMaggio will have a fielder's choice, and the Detroit Fury, at least for the time being, live to tell the tale of facing a fire Joe DiMaggio and not having to pay the price. We go bottom 6. No, still bottom 6. Next batter is Mike Schmidt. Schmidt hit a long home run in Game 2 of this series. Let's see if he has an encore in mind here in Game 5. The pitch. Ball 4. That's a 6-pitch walk, and now the Bats have 2 aboard, 1 away, building a rally here in the 6th. Lou Boudreau comes up. Boudreau, a brand new card in this one, a packable 100. I was actually shocked after Chris's stream on Thursday just how quickly we had Lou Boudreau's moving around in the auction house. Let's check out some Lou Boudreau statistics. Where are you, Lou? First I need to find my matchup analyzer. There we go. Let's get Lou. Lou Boudreau versus left. Wow. So it's safe to say that Lou Boudreau has not had a ton of plate appearances, only 37 of them. So let's go ahead and completely throw out this sample size. Throw it out. But what we do know about Lou Boudreau is that he is extremely slow. He's a 4 on the 1-to-100 speed scale. So if he hits this ball on the ground, you got to think that Bancroft, Morgan, and Connor will team up to turn 2. He is a dangerous bat, though. And the Schrodinger's bat certainly hoping he can come through here in the 6th. The pitch. Line drive, base hit left field. DiMaggio stops at 3rd, and they are now loaded here in Game 5 of the World Series as we're notched up at 1 in the 6th. Harry Heilman, the next hitter. This stadium ready to explode. Look at the numbers for Harry Heilman versus left-hand pitching. A great hitter, 816 OPS, 17 runs better than an average hitter. And we have the Detroit Fury again aggressively coming to the plate, trying to cut down DiMaggio at home. 0-1 count on Heilman. The pitch. Heilman ground to short. Bancroft's got it to home 1. That will be all they can get. But they do get the lead runner. They keep the score tied for the time being, retire Joe DiMaggio at the plate, and everyone else moves up a base. Jackie Robinson now holds the fate of this rally in his hands. We'll put him in the matchup analyzer and see that he has been deadly versus left-hand pitching as well. 791 OPS for Jackie, 14 runs better than an average hitter. And he has got the weight of the world on him now. A tie game in Game 5 with his team trailing 3-1 in the series. Their last home game in the series. Team needs him to come through here. Rixey comes set, delivers, fly ball on the infield. Who's going to grab it? Dave Bancroft calls off Morgan and makes the grab. Straining the bases loaded are the bats. And heading to the 7th, all tied up in this one. Top 7, we've got Smoltz on the hill for the bats. Smoltz has been dynamic in this one. 1 run, 2 hits. He faces Arky Vaughn to lead off this inning. 3-1 count on Arky. Wind and the pitch, that's ball 4. Remains to be seen how much longer we'll see John Smoltz in this one. He'll face Pete Rose at least. Comes set, delivers, ground ball, Smoltz fields it to second, 1. Unable to complete the double play. 1 away now here in the 7th. Bill Dickey, the next hitter, a fire Bill Dickey, and a Bill Dickey that has already gone deep in this ballgame. Does he have another shot in that bat? 0-2 count, the pitch. Ground ball to first. Picked by Pete Rose. Steps on the bag. That's the second out of the inning. 2 outs now in this 7th. But the Fury still threatening as Pete Rose has moved around to third base now. And Joe Morgan steps up. The last hope for the Fury on this rally. Smoltz delivers. And Morgan lines one to left. Joe Morgan shoots one over the third baseman's outstretched arm and scores the second run of this ballgame. An RBI single for Morgan. High fives all around in the Fury dugout. And you could hear a pin drop here in Schrodinger. We go bottom 7, and the bats, who have been tied for much of this game, now trail. Need to work their way back into this one. They need a run to tie, 2 to take the lead. With 2 outs in the 7th, Henderson bats versus Noodles Hahn. Hahn winds and delivers, and this one's grounded over to third. Arky Vaughn fields it, throws it across. That is 3 up, 3 down for Noodles Hahn in the 7th. We're going to head to the 8th inning. Detroit Fury 2, Schrodinger's bats 1. Top 8. One away for Paul Hines, leadoff hitter for the Fury, facing Vida Blue. Blue rocks, Blue fires, and this one is shot out to center field. That's a leadoff single. Nothing else doing. Top 8 we go. Bottom 8. Schrodinger's bats running out of outs in this World Series. 6 outs separate them and a World Series defeat unless they're able to scratch across at least a run. Eric Gagne into this game for the Fury. He'll face Pete Rose. Wind and the pitch. Rose ground ball to short, deep into the hole. Bancroft has it and will eat it there. Bancroft fielded it during the transfer to his glove, from his glove to his hand. He bobbled it. Pete Rose running hard the entire way, as Charlie Hustle's wont to do. Able to run through the bag and convince Bancroft not even to throw it. Now, as you'll notice in the lineup card, Bancroft is wearing that icy snowflake, and it was evidenced here. Pete Rose representing the tying run, representing an unearned tying run, will now be at first. Into the batter's box is Joe DiMaggio. Gagne comes set, delivers, line drive, base hit left field. DiMaggio comes through. Now there's 2 on, nobody out, and the bats are in business. This place is rocking, ready to explode. Mike Schmidt comes up, 2-2 count on him. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Eric Gagne, known for his velocity, twirls up a changeup, and Mike Schmidt was ill-prepared for it. 72 miles an hour, and Mike Schmidt way out in front. It's the first out of this inning. 1-2 count now on Roger Connor. The pitch. Ground ball to first. Rose has it to second one. Unable to complete the double play there. Does get the lead runner at second. So now the bats will have runners at the corners and 2 away as they're still looking to tie this game up. The fans come to their feet for this one. Harry Heilman batting with a full count, runners at the corners. Let's get our matchup analyzer in order. Heilman versus right. Eric Gagne versus right. Advantage to the pitcher. But it's a full count. The pitch. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did! First base umpire rings up Harry Heilman. Harry didn't like it at all. The crowd doesn't like it at all. And that's going to end the threat here in the 8th. We move to the 9th. Fury 2. Bats 1. Nothing doing in the Fury half of the 9th. We go to the bottom half. This is when I get the goosebumps right here. This is when I get the goosebumps. We've got a team leading 3-1 in the World Series, trying to win their first ever Perfect League title. And they go to the 9th inning protecting a 1-run lead to do so. Just put yourself in that chair, watching this sim, assuming you haven't spoiled it and watched ahead. This is exciting. This is really exciting for Doc. This is exciting for you guys, for me. I mean, shoot, I'm the one with goosebumps here. But let's see what happens. Pedro Martinez on the hill for the Fury. He'll be tasked with getting at least the first of the 3 outs that they need here, as he faces Jackie Robinson to lead off this inning. Pedro was definitely a stalwart in the pen all season long, and this one results in a fly ball to right field. Should be playable for Keeler. Heads on over, makes the grab. It's 1 up, 1 down for the Bats. Now 1 away for Willie Keeler. Keeler not known for the long ball here, but he certainly has wheels. If he's able to find a gap here, a triple is not out of the question. 1-0 count. Pedro rocks. Pedro fires, and this one's skied out to center field. Ashburn sliding over. He'll make the grab there. That's 2 up and 2 down. And the Detroit Fury and their fans now 1 out away from the long-awaited Perfect League title. Oscar Charleston will be the final hope for the Bats. Oscar Charleston versus right. Give me Pedro versus left. Advantage to the pitcher here ever so slightly. Oscar Charleston, a power bat who has really lost a lot of his market share of average, on base, and slugging as better cards have come out. But he's certainly not someone who is dead yet. He could certainly come through for the Bats here, and they need him. Now let's remember, not too long ago, a team was about to be eliminated, and Oscar Charleston hit a home run to extend it and let them win it in extras. Wind and the pitch. Oscar, line drive up the middle, base hit. Charleston, a speedy base runner, has extended this inning for the Bats and given them hope. That will bring up Ricky Henderson. Henderson ahead in the count 3-1. Pedro to Ricky, and that's ball 4. Two away, tying run at second, winning run at first, and one of the best hitters in the game in Pete Rose at the plate. Advantage to the hitter in this one, as your matchup analyzer will tell you. 45,000 plate appearances of Pete Rose has him as one heck of a hitter, and a tough out for Pedro Martinez here. Full count. Runners will be off with the pitch. Any sort of single will score Charleston. I mean, Ricky Henderson is right behind him. The right kind of single will score Ricky Henderson. Series could change on a dime here. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And the Fury have done it. The Detroit Fury are your 2044 Perfect League World Series champions. Winning Game 5 by a total of 2-1. And crushing the demons of playoff Perfect League past. The long wait is over, and a very deserving owner and a very deserving team are rightly crowned in the circle of Perfect League champions. Let's get some fireworks. As we update our counter. So Fury takes Game 5. They are our champions. Let's look at the box score before we check out who won MVP. Rixey, 3 wins in the postseason, none of them quite as big as this one. Goes 6 innings, only gives up 1 earned run. A great outing for him. On the other side, Smoltz was great. Smoltz was downright fantastic. 7 innings, only 2 earned. But when you're facing Rixey, sometimes 2 runs is 1 run too many. And that was the case here in this one. Let's check out who our MVP of the series is. And it's none other than DishNet 34's Bill Dickey. The man that made DishNet 34 10,000 perfect points richer. DishNet, make sure you DM me so we can get you your reward for this one, for sitting in the hot seat. And then we'll take one final view of the overall bracket. So there it is, guys. That's your 2044 Perfect League World Series. That's the conclusion of the first Perfect League World Series on this channel of mine in a long time. I'm so glad that so many of you made the journey over from the main Out of the Park channel to this one. I'm excited to continue bringing this to you guys and just overwhelmed by the support you guys have already shown in progressing us towards our subscription goal. You guys are totally awesome, and I very much appreciate it. Oh, you know what? Let's check who won the bracket. Tom Budaman's on it. Let's see who won. We can announce that right here on stream. So let's give Fury the win, Schrodinger the runner-up. What was our final score in the final game? 2-1. So total final score of 3. Click the old save button. It cranks, it cranks, it cranks. And our winner of the Perfect League Bracket Challenge is Gen Xer 69 with 23 points. Just edging out Irvine 2 with 22 points. And then our third place team actually went to tiebreaker. So good thing that Andy G24 filled out a sensible tiebreaker here, as he will get third place by tiebreak at 21 points. So if you, there's so much going on now with this stream, it's hard to keep it all straight. But for the Perfect League Bracket Challenge, your username is is the name that you've registered on that site. So you don't need to do anything there. You don't need to DM me. I'll be able to send that out without you doing anything there. If you don't know what the Perfect League Bracket Challenge is, let me take a second and explain it. Well, the Perfect League Bracket Challenge is an opportunity for you to win perfect points every Sunday. So have you ever filled out a college basketball bracket? It's the same darn thing. But instead of filling it out for college teams, you are filling it out for Perfect League teams. And so, in between the hours of midnight Eastern Time and 12 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, you have an opportunity to fill out your bracket. And the winner gets 50,000 perfect points. The second place team gets 20,000. The third place team gets 10,000. And if anyone ever has a perfect bracket where you get every one of the teams right, you'll get an additional 50,000. Alf13 Brown asking where. So this is posted on my Discord. This is posted on the main Out of the Park Discord. And if you're not a Discorder, that's fine too. You can just go to bracketworld.com. I'll link it in the chat. So here's the final standings of this week. In future weeks, if you just go to bracketworld.com between those times, midnight on Saturday and noon on Sunday, that 12-hour window, and just search for the current year's Perfect League Bracket, it's going to be there. So next week, you would search for 2045 Perfect League Bracket Challenge. Open it up. Fill out who you think is going to win. And then win a bunch of points. Let's see how close they were to a perfect bracket this week. Not very close at all. It looks like Gen Xer had Schrodinger losing in the first round. That's amazing. So the team that won our bracket challenge had one of the two teams on stream tonight losing in the first round. But they happened to get a lot of the rest of it right, including the entire left side of the bracket right. So Gen Xer had the Fury beating the Ducks, had the Pitt Vipers beating Lytton City, had Chad Golden Rumps, had the entire left side of the bracket 100% correct. The right side was a struggle, but it was enough to get the W. All right, what else? What else do we need to say here? If anyone joined midstream and didn't understand how people got into the hot seat, those are picked at random. So make sure you join early. Join before the first sim so that you can have as many opportunities as possible to find your way into the hot seat. We had some people walking away with some big perfect point totals tonight. Doc's Homer Happy Stadium was certainly paying dividends for those in the hot seat. But other than that, I think we're done. And I saw DishNet's going to go on live. We'll go ahead and raid over to DishNet. so that he can keep the party going with his Perfect Team weekly prep. Now, I have never raided before, so we are going to be patient with the old man as he figures out what he's doing here. Alright, I think when I click this button, it's going to go to DishNet, but we'll find out. Just in case I lose you guys. Thanks so much for joining tonight. Thanks for migrating. Thanks for migrating from the main one to my personal channel. I hope you guys had a ton of fun tonight watching the stream. We'll continue to make it fun going forward. We'll be a little bit cleaner as we get used to the new format in future weeks. But other than that, keep on keeping on. Get your team on point, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on one of these streams in the very, very near future. Thanks again to everyone for all the support. I'll call out Chuck, DishNet, Snaggle J for our big gifts in the gifted subscriptions in the chat. A ton of people subscribing with their Amazon Prime account. That's all very appreciated. You guys rock. And with that said, I'm going to give you guys over to Dish. Everyone have a good night. Fireworks for the road.